224 days, all the Indian cricket fans have waited to watch this format. They've waited to watch Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli bat. But what happened today? हिंदी में कहते हैं कि मैच के बीच में थोड़ी सी बारिश आ गई, लेकिन यहाँ पर कहना सही है कि बारिश के बीच में थोड़ा सा मैच कराने की आज कोशिश की गई है. The game has been shortened. 26 overs India played and India scored 136 runs. Rahul, who batted sort of well, he looked in good touch later in the overs and he scored 38 runs of 31 balls. Akshar Patel, who was sent up, he was sent before Rahul, he scored 31 runs, and Nitish Kumar Reddy on his debut, when it was needed, he scored 19 runs not out. But when you talk about the Australian team, I want to go to my experts and ask them, do you guys think, I have Mr. Zaheer Khan, Mr. Harsha Bhogle, he's pointing towards you, he's saying, don't come to me, ask him, is the score okay?
Well, that's the case with the rain-affected game, isn't it? Like, you start the game thinking that it's going to be 50 overs. You look to approach the innings in that fashion. I think the Australian bowlers, the two experienced bowlers, we did touch upon that fact that, you know, what Indian batters will be looking at. So the approach was cautious, but yet I think the Australian bowlers were very disciplined. They kept asking questions, resulted in wickets that put pressure on the Indian batting lineup. And once the game was reduced, it was just going to add to the misery. So I think if you ask me, the total amount of runs at this stage, when you're looking at Australia chasing down in 26 overs, more tilted in Australia's favour for sure.
But do you also feel, Harsha, that the sort of approach, what he's talking about, the way India started, they sort of knew that we are going to play 50 overs, but because of the rain, they had to suddenly shift their approach, but it didn't go quite their way.
Not for the first 2 or 3 wickets.
Yeah.
I thought the first 2 or 3 wickets came from excellent bowling. Hazlewood looked in such good rhythm. I mean, you would have thought, I've seen Hazlewood now for so long, you give him these conditions, very good bounce. I thought he bowled beautifully. Little disappointed with the Kohli's dismissal.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can understand, you get out quickly. But everyone now again going to talk, it was that wide ball, he threw his bat at it, there was a fielder there to catch it. So little disappointed with that aspect of it. But I thought they bowled beautifully at the start. And then with these rain stoppages, the batters were never in the game. Because you don't know how many overs you've got, right? So suppose you are 40 odd for 3. You still don't know if you're playing a 45-over game or a 42-over game. So you don't know whether to go for it, whether to hang in there. And then there's another rain stoppage. So it's very, very difficult to bat. In the end, you've got 136 now. But the other team now knows they've got to get 136 in 26. It's a huge advantage for the chasing side.
That's what you said in the pre-show also, Harsha, that there is a possibility that we'll have rain showers today in the game. So that's why Australia decided to bowl first. But today, it was the 8.1 over and India had already lost 3 wickets. The 3 guys we talked about on this pre-show, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. Rohit scored 8, Shubman Gill 10, and Virat Kohli, for the first time in Australia, he got out for a duck.
Well, that's just some good bowling. To start with, we've been talking about the experience of Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood, how they're going to approach. You've seen the open cover region, you know, inviting for the batters to look for that area. But because of the bounce and the field setup, it was always going to be challenging. That phase was always going to be challenging. And it was understandable that Indian batters at that stage was going to be cautious. But once you get those breakthroughs, you know that suddenly it just creates that much more pressure in the second phase. Add rain to it, all these delays. It's never going to be that easy. So I think from the Australia's point of view, you know, the way they approached giving longest spell to both Hazlewood and Starc. I think that was a smart move. It was staying with the game, understanding that, okay, you know, this is the moment. If you've got 2 wickets, let's just carry on with your main bowlers, create one more chance. And they did get that breakthrough at that stage, which really helped the bowling attack to really firm their grip on the game.
And as it turned out, because of the stoppages, they got 7 overs each out of Starc and Hazlewood. If it had been a 26-over game from the start, they wouldn't have got 7 overs each. So it benefited Australia enormously. I was a little intrigued by Rohit's start. On a slightly low bounce pitch, you can get away with the shots. He played like that in India. He played like that in the UAE when India changed their style completely. But I think the extra bounce affected the stroke play a little bit. And you see the ball he got out as well. In India, no way that ball is rising that high.
Yeah.
So I just wonder whether India went a little too quickly into that mode, given that they hadn't played on a bouncy track for a long time. But you know, with people like Rohit and Virat, we can sit at this distance and say, oh, maybe this, maybe that. They've played so much in those conditions that you've got to give them the benefit and say, look, they thought the shot was on.
But even then, like you said, every time Virat gets out, when he goes after that ball, which is going a little bit out, people have a lot of things to say about him. But you talked about the pace and the bounce. Did it feel like really difficult for them adapting to the conditions?
Well, I think it was just a build-up of some good bowling in good areas. You know, add that extra bounce as well. And look, you know, these technical things which are always there. You know, it's a known fact to everyone. Everyone knows that when you sit and try to analyze or try to plan. As a bowling group, they will be focusing on those areas. You know, you've seen with Virat, once he's in, he's strong on the onside, he's good through the covers, and the length is something which is always going to be crucial for him.
Yeah.
But line is also that one factor, you know, which a lot of the bowlers now are aiming to be very away from him. It doesn't have to be predictable, but you kind of work your way around, isn't it? Like, you know, you keep building that that pressure and then throw one really wide outside off for him to be tempted to play that shot. And, you know, he's been finding a way of scoring runs in spite of that. So it's just a phase, I think, you know, just an adjustment as well. But the credit has to be given to the bowlers to be disciplined enough to be exploiting those areas.
Let's just have a look at the bowling card, the way Australia bowled. Both of you have praised how they bowled today. We've been talking about them in the pre-show. Mitchell Starc, 3.67 is his economy. Josh Hazlewood, 2.86 is the economy. We know they are good bowlers and they have been doing well, but you have bowled a lot in Australia. There is one thing that the pitch supports you, but there is another thing that's extracting it out of the pitch, that you get that support because you have that skill.
Well, yes, I think, you know, both these bowlers are very experienced bowlers.
Yeah.
You know, so one thing you start with is just hitting that area, and their consistency in hitting that area is always going to be higher than rest of the bowlers. You know, that is going to create more challenges for you as a batter. So that's something, you know, which goes without saying. Add to the conditions, you've seen Hazlewood getting that nice shape outside off, getting that extra bounce as well. Mitchell Starc, we did touch upon that, you know, what different he can do against these two, and he did exactly that. If you see the length which he was bowling with the new ball was slightly shorter than what he normally bowls. You know, so that one positive change you've seen from his approach. Wickets is something, you know, which was important for Indian team at that stage. If not scoring run in that phase was a given, I think, you know, that was the plan. But losing wickets is something which was always going to add to the pressure. And that's where the Australians scored heavily in today's game, taking those early wickets, which is always going to be a problem.
Harsha, we talked about Starc, we talked about Hazlewood. I remember you were talking in the green room, you said when you saw Hazlewood, oh my God, he looks in very, very good touch. That was your first reaction.
He's looking in great rhythm.
Yeah.
He's bowling the ball where he wants it. He's always had that skill. Plus, he's very tall. The other thing is both these bowlers are very tall. On a track like Perth, you can get the bounce you want.
Yeah.
As Zach said, they've bowled on these pitches for so long. I mean, we've got some young people working on this crew here at Cricbuzz, including the anchor.
I wish.
But you ask the youngest person and he'll say, when I started watching cricket, Starc and Hazlewood were bowling. That's how long they've been bowling in these conditions. So they know exactly what lengths to bowl. There's no wait and see period. They know what lengths to bowl, where to bowl. Today, the analyst is telling you, this is where you bowl to Virat Kohli, this is where you bowl. So there's no time lost in that. And their execution was fantastic. I thought that new ball spell was just really good.
What are your thoughts on Matt and Kuhneman?
The spinner, he got wickets at the end. But you see, when you come in at that point, you will get wickets because batsmen are trying to hit you everywhere.
Yeah.
One big advantage for the spinner, I don't know exactly what the boundary lengths here were, But this ground in Perth is huge. So the boundaries are much further away. So when you're tossing it up as a spinner, you've got something to play with. Even those 26 that he conceded, some runs came right at the end when Nitish Reddy hit 2 sixes. But you see the Washington dismissal.
Yeah.
The situation sometimes creates those dismissals. I don't think there was that much turn for him, but he just bowled proper.
But it's unfortunate and disappointing that it's a rain-affected game, and everyone who's joined us right now, the target is revised. It's 131 that Australia has to chase down in 26 overs. So I want to get into Australia's batting. When we talk about Travis Head and Mitch Marsh, they go out, they have one gear. They just look to send the balls beyond the boundary. And now they know the target. They have an idea how to sort of approach the game. Do you think they are not going to change the approach? Because in the pre-show, I also wanted to talk about, they know there is no one very experienced in the middle over. Maybe they will have a different approach. But now it changes totally?
Well, in games like this, that's one thing which you don't want to move away from your natural instincts, your original plan. Sometimes the score line does affect your plan. If it's too much, then obviously you have that freedom of going after the bowling. But when it's that in between total, that's when at times you've seen the change in mindset, which results in interesting games. So that is always a possibility. You've seen with the new ball here on this pitch and with the conditions, there will be some help for the bowlers. So I think for India, it's going to be very important that they make those early inroads. I think that's going to be the best chance for them to create a scenario where there is a doubt in Australia's run chase. From Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head, their point of view, they're going to be wanting to just dominate from the word go.
But from India, you want to
No. I just said, we don't know from this distance what the radar is showing.
Yeah.
If the radar is showing, say, rain in 90 minutes from now, they might say, oh, hang on, let's try and get these runs as quickly as possible. As he said, I don't think it will matter to Travis Head and to Marsh. But if you can get Australia 10-15 for 2, there's a lot of inexperience in that batting after that. Matt Renshaw's coming back after a long time. Matt Short has only played a handful of games. Cooper Conley didn't get to bowl today, but he's pretty much a rookie. So there's a lot of inexperience in that batting lineup. Josh Philippe hasn't played a lot of ODI cricket for Australia. So there's opportunity there if you get a couple of wickets early and force Australia to play a slightly different kind of game. But most times with the batting order that has Stark coming in at 8, he can swing his bat too.
Yeah,
got to make 113, 26 overs. Most days you say thank you.
But from India's perspective, that's what I was coming to. The power play, it's 5 overs.
Yes.
What is the sort of numbers they would look at to stop Australia at, so that we can still feel okay, we are still in the game?
Don't let them run away. Don't let them. they get 45 in the first 5, 40 in the first 5 overs.
Okay.
You've got just 90 to get there after. Target comes under 100. So more than the runs, I think you've got to get wickets in that in the first 5-6 overs.
Yeah, that's very important. But if you were in the dressing room right now, there's Siraj, there's Arshdeep, there's Harshit Rana chipping in between. How do you manage these 3?
Well, we've seen with Arshdeep Singh and Siraj both, if they get it right, if there's some seam movement around, there's some swing around, then for sure they're going to have good chance of picking wickets. And both these bowlers, they are different bowlers when they get that early breakthrough. So that is something which the team would want to just put their hand up and create that opportunity. That really creates that energy of in the fielding group as well. To have that belief that they can pull this game through.
Yeah.
Siraj is bowling well. The thing is, this has been a great year for Siraj so far across formats. He's bowled a lot in Test match cricket, so his rhythm is not a problem. I think he'll be the key. If he can get that outswinger going early on, he'll be the key. There's a left-right combination that won't help, but I think Siraj is the key. And also watch for Arshdeep, who's not played a lot of cricket.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see if Arshdeep can get the ball to move much like Stark did, then yeah, it'll make a difference.
And we have also been talking about Shubman Gill's captaincy being tested, because in situations like this, that's where you have to go inside and tell your team that I have that belief in you. How do you instill that belief in the team right now? Because it's his test also.
Look, luckily for him, a lot of them have played a lot of cricket. So I don't think he needs to he needs to instill belief in them, because if they didn't have it, they won't come this far. Plus, they've got a lot of senior players around. So I'm sure the conversation will be, look, it's a very, very tough game from here on. But we're playing 6 bowlers. If we get early wickets, look, let's try and attack early. Let's attack the ball. Let's at least not give away runs.
Yeah.
Let's attack the field. These are wonderful fielding conditions, because these outfields are so good in Australia that these are wonderful fielding conditions. There's one other thing, little thing that worried me was a lot of the time the spinners are wiping the ball.
Yeah.
So I just wonder whether the outfield is not dry enough yet for the rain it has taken.
That will be a challenge for sure. So and that might affect the swing bowling as well, because once the ball goes in the outfield, the seam gets wet. Then you might not get
She's
that.
in pain.
When it's against Australia, I'm always in pain.
But look, I think they say cricket is played in a lot in the head as well, and that is something which is going to be very important. So control the controllables. You got to have the body language. You got to show that belief that you're going to make the match out of it, and that intensity is something at times takes care of things.
Yeah.
So that is what you would want to see from the power play at least. The 5 overs, you have to have that kind of intent to take wickets.
When you've talked about belief so much, so Harsha, Zach, मैं बहुत अच्छी तरह से आपके अंदर belief instill कर सकती हूँ. You can do it. It's time for the guessing game. What's your prediction?
Actually, guessing game went for a toss with the rain, didn't
Yeah,
it?
thank God.
So it's a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw.
not held against us as a draw.
It's a 5-over power play.
No, because you see, when it comes to the guessing game, I'm thoda niche. So a no result is a bad result for people who are normally used to
I
being
think
top
you
of
should
the order.
divide it by
do
2 because it was only half overs bowled.
Can we do that?
No,
In that scenario,
he said 270.
Yeah, that's right.
He
That's
said
right.
270.
My math is bad, so I didn't realize.
I knew the moment he was going there why he was doing that. That's a
Somebody
power play
will
score.
approve this, so I'll have to ask the producer. I'll write a letter probably. So.
If you say it off on air, there's nothing they can do, right?
Just one clue for you. It's a boundary of the 4th ball. Now you can...
I'm going 39 in the power play.
49 in the power?
39.
39 you said, okay.
It's a 5-over power play or 6?
5.
5 over.
Yeah, I'm going 39.
39.
I'm going 32.
32. I'm going 30. I just said it. I don't know why I said it, but I just said it. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me here. Thanks a lot. And aap sabka bhi bahut bahut shukriya. We'll see you again in the 10th over for the Com Box. Don't forget to join in.